Hey, I'm ElusiveKev. Welcome back to MotoGP 18, where Mario McDonald has fallen backwards in the title race. But can he climb forward towards Dovi around the Red Bull Ring in Austria? So here goes Mario then for the first of two possible qualifying laps, as he's got to beat Tito about 24.1. He won't do it like that. As you've got the riders coming out the pit lane anyway in front. He had the Mark VDS there. So that's already a write-off, so it might be three possible qualifying laps then. So he breaks 150 metres before that corner and still outbreaks himself. That's 2 from 2. For Mario, let's see if we can make it 3 from 3 maybe. He's still reeling in third gear. You go downhill. Oh, he doesn't. Actually, it's the A bit to a corner for once. Very slow through it, as he's perhaps a bit in shock, as he's 2 seconds down. So we go through this left-hander. And then the next, they're very important. Trying to get in the power so early that you can take this right flat out. And go downhill. He's 1.1 back now. Through a penultimate corner, a bit wide again for Mario. Very scruffy that. He gets hard on the power towards the line. It's going to be a 25, is it? 25-1. He's nowhere near the top. At least he's made the first corner on this lap. So he's definitely going to need 3 laps maybe. That's how early do you brake for this corner? You see, brakes at 170. That time he's way early. He gets on the power. He's got someone on his tail. He's got that Mark VDS. Says, what are you doing? So here goes Mario into match. Pedro's 22.6. He's 2.5 seconds back. Just got 2 laps to be anywhere near to the Honda. He takes the first corner a bit better, because he switched setup as well. That setup in Brno he used, the first one did not work around it. So he's going to do a setup he's used for most of the season. It seems to be a bit better. As Petrucci now sets a 21.8. Unbelievable that time set by the top 2. And that's just to get through the qualifying too. Smell on the power early. Oh, he is definitely quicker with this setup. Just 0.3 of a second back. It seems to be riding this Austria circuit much better. This gets hard on the power towards the final couple corners. This is going to be close actually. He says he's up. He's going to the penultimate corner. All he's really changed is the brake disc. He's using the bigger, more powerful brake disc now rather than the other brake disc he used in Brno, and he is quickest 21.5. But he's made it through to qualifying 2 alongside teammate Petrucci as they edge out Pedrosa by half a second. And you've got Paul Espargo and Tito Abad sharing an all-Spaniard 5th row. Then it's Sorin, Batista and Espargo, with Bradley Smith leading the 9th row alongside fellow Brits Scott Redding and Cara Abraham. Then it's Luti Morbidelli and Sever Simon with Nakagami at the back on his LCR. So here goes Mario for his only qualifying effort in qualifying 2. Can he nail it? Well, we have to deal with traffic as well out of pit lane. As he goes a bit wide over the curves. He's got some traffic in front, so if he can match that 21.5, he might be looking good in this session. But he's lost 0.8 apparently to Marquez. Let's go out the hairpin. Same thing, he might be getting some slipstream off the rider in front. But he might have already wrecked his lap. Oh, he definitely has. He definitely has. Shall we have one more effort? This is probably the most qualifying laps he's ever done. As we're 3 seconds off the pace. Just one clean lap, Mario. You've had one clean lap out of 5 attempts. I'm not sure how the race is going to go for you, buddy. As he seems to be making a horlicks of this circuit. It's so early, the braking though. Compared to Moto 2 and Moto 3. It's like you just got on the power. So you have to brake. It's just accelerating, this circuit. Does not feel like there are any strokes apart from this first one at all around here. So here we go then, Mario. Can you be at 25.7? No, you can't. He's already messed up this up again with that acceleration. Just on the power slightly early. Well, Banny's done better though. Get on the power out of the hairpin. Brake a bit too much, so maybe didn't want to get it down to first. We might have to. Get the bike stopped for some corners, then immediately shift up to second, as you can see. So he can actually get the smooth acceleration as he's caught a second down. As he goes into the middle sector. This is where he started to pull away a bit in the second after that. First half, he might be struggling a bit. Second after that, seems to be pretty damn good. We're just getting wheel spin everywhere on this, that. This is nowhere near as good. This is qualifying one effort. There's now you've got Lorenzo Crutcher at the top of a 21.8. Mario's going to be setting 22s here, 23s. Terrible. As after 50 laps of qualifying, we're in an LCR sandwich. Nakagami last, Crutcher on pole. Head of Marquez and Dovi. What the hell? With Petrucci leading the second ahead of Zarco and Lorenzo. Then it's Rins, Vinales and Rossi. And on the fourth row, Mario leads it in the top 10 ahead of Inoni and teammate Meda. So topsy-turvy grid, what about in the race? So here's Mario Remo at the start then. Waiting for the lights. 2, go. Out as we get underway for 9 laps of fun here in Spielberg. And what a start by Meda. Poor start for Rossi. So Mario goes down the inside. He gets past Lorenzo, gets past the pole set. Crutcher up into 4th. Outstanding start. For second place in the championship. I believe it's title rival leading. Dovi as he gets pushed wide by Lorenzo. As Zarco goes down. What the hell? He just falls like a pack of cards there. Just absolutely stacked it behind as Mario goes wide for the right. Where you go, Mario? Whoa, what are you doing, Vinales? Went in way too hot there. Has Abraham's in the points? That shows how crazy the start is. Cal Abraham. And in Alicia Spargo for 7th. Mario up into 8th. Well, it could have been so much more if he didn't outbrake himself into a couple of corners. He's using all of the track on the exit there. That right hand, he's behind Ian Oni. He's behind his teammate Rins. So now using all of the curb. He's got Paul Spargo and Tev, then Tito are back. Battling as Rossi in 14th. Battling with Baptiste, who's battling with teammate Abraham. As Marcus leads onto the second lap ahead of Dovi and Petrucci. And you've got Lorenzo and Mida in the top 5. Mario missing out on the Ducati party down in 7th. As he's in a Suzuki sandwich, which could change very quickly. It's behind Rins. Down the inside of Rins. It goes down. Mario will plead his innocence in the steward's office after this race. With Rins and Zarco. And with Vinales as well. Well, you saw Vinales just bundled in like he was braking for a corner 10 metres down the road. Let's carry over and suddenly out the points. Nakagami's now in the points. What a fantastic battle for just the remaining points. What a battle for fourth as well between two Ducatis, Lorenzo and Miller. As Mario tries to hop on the bike. Gets up to sixth, tries to catch up to his lead battle. Let them 3 wide into the final corner. How have they all survived? As here comes Mario then, up into sixth, 21.5. Dovi leads ahead of Marquez. Petrucci's Mario did the fastest lap. That's one way to catch up to this lead battle as he gets ahead of Petrucci. Miller into the podium places. Brilliant ride from the Australian. There's all Mario out of control. Oh no, he's taking out his teammate Miller. Well, if Mario's not going to get penalties after the race, I don't know what he has to do. As it's been crazy, the race, no doubt. But what will Premac think of Mario? He's second in the championship, but is that the third or second or third time he's taken out Miller now? He's taken out Petrucci a couple of times this season. He just does not work well with teammates. There's maybe something off in the team chemistry. It's Mario's winning to make a desperate move like that on the second lap of a race, or third lap of a race, for a podium. I wonder how many lives he's got in the Premac team as Dovi leads ahead of Marquez, Lorenzo, Petrucci, Iannone and Mario. As Tito are back into the top 10 ahead of Paul Espargaro. Bautista battling well as Happy Siren. It's on the fourth lap for a race which is been all over the place. It's all Mayo breaks himself. Allows Rossi by. He gets a decent exit on the Yamaha, and here comes Ducati power. As all Rossi moves over slightly. Good to say this is my place. Mayo has the deal, but Rossi a bit wide on the exit. Doesn't have to run through the right-hander. About into the next left. Oh, he does the Yamaha rider. Now, will Mayo make a desperate dive on his mentor? Oh, you bet he will. No invitations to the ranch now either for Mayo has. That basically set up the move into the penultimate corner, it looks like. Gone a bit wide. So Rossi back by, has it? Mayo wants to make it by, but not quite, as Dovi leads ahead of Lorenzo, Marquez, Petrucci, Iannone, Rossi, McDonald. You got Pedrosa, Miller, Paul Espargaro in the top 10 on home turf for the KTM. As Mario McDonald is into the points ahead of ElusiveKev. Mayo looking to get by into the top 5. Past Maniac Joe, but it's been Maniac Mayo this race. Okay, he gets ahead of Suzuki. As we approach halfway mark of this race, there's normally Mayo time as well in the middle part. So tyres and brakes all up the temperature. This is normally when Mayo flies, but not when Iannone punts him wide. Maybe under the influence of Rossi there. It's Mayo down the inside of the Yamaha. Gonna hold that place with Rossi. Oh, it's a wily wider. Elbows out. As well, someone down. And it's Rossi. Oh, did Mayo do that? Is Mayo out of the academy? What the hell? As now he's bumping uglies with his teammate Petrucci. As he's up to 4th in the final corner. As Dovi, Lorenzo, Marquez, they've just sailed away. 1.6 seconds up the road. For Mayo up to 4th on the 6th lap. He's basically just cleared the opposition this race. As we go into the hairpin. Ever so gentle on the power. There's Danny Pedrosa up to 7th ahead of Jack Miller. Vinales battling with his teammate Rossi over 12. Despite falling, Rossi's still in the points. Is Mario holding on in the first half of that? This is strange. This has been very calm this lap so far. He's 2 seconds back. Takes a bit of a wide line in the first left. Didn't want to do that in the second. As he gets on the power hard all over the curb on the exit. So aggressive with his bike. But he needs to be if he wants to catch up to the top 3. As Marquez dropping back a bit from the Ducatis. Maybe he smells blood, Mario. As he's a second back. He's gaining. Let's set up the first corner though. But another couple of laps like that and he could be on the tail of Marquez at the beginning of the final lap. He goes into the hairpin. So that Honda's definitely dropping back. It could be an all Ducati podium still here in Austria. So maybe all of their opponents feared. As Jorge in front of Dovi. That's not in the script though. As we go through the left. Hard on the power, Mario. As Miller Pedrosa battling hard over 7th. Rossi battling hard with his teammate Vinales. As Paul Spargo dropping back on home turf for KTM. Down to 12th, but he's battling hard with the Doctor. And here comes Mario. He's gained another half second as he on Marquez. Another 22.3 despite missing up that first corner. And look at this right on the tail of the Honda. Lorenzo and Dovi are battling hard. Gonna have a cracking battle for the final step on the podium for the Champagne. Mario down the inside of Marquez, he goes down. Are you kidding? Are you actually kidding? There's Mario. Will he even be allowed to complete this race? As he literally has bulldozed off of the top 10 now. Not sure it's all his fault, as you saw with Vinales. But he's definitely had a couple of questionable moves once again. Manic Mario's back. Oh, and he's somehow still upright. As he's 2.3 behind the leaders. Got a bit of a gap to Iannone behind. I'm not sure he can catch up to the battlers. But you know he'll try his hardest. Maybe enthusiasm's gone a bit too far this race as Mark is battling with his teammate Pedrosa now. So on the final lap of what has been, I want to say, entertaining race. As the Aprias are battling over 18th. But it might be a landmark race for Mario in his MotoGP career, as no doubt he's fast, no doubt he's quick. They're going to be managed. As he's taken out Miller, his teammate again. Got Harry with Petrucci. Got Harry with Rossi, with Marquez, with Vinales, with Zarco. You name it. Apart from the factory Ducatis in front who will be cheering for him. Who will be loving this. No doubt Ducati will as well. As they're about to have an all Ducati podium. Let's Mario through the final corner. Who's going to win? Out of the battle in Ducatis, it's Dovi ahead of Lorenzo with Mario. Securing a podium place from 10th on the grid. Never a dull moment. That race, though, has... Once again, he's going to be spraying a champagne. As Dovi beats Lorenzo by 3/10 with Mario in third, setting the fastest lap as well. So he definitely did have the 1 lap pace. Why did it not happen in qualifying 2? With Inoni in fourth ahead of Petrucci, winning that battle by 2/10. Then Marquez, Minna, Pedrosa, Rossi, Vinales, the victims of Mario litter the second half of the top 10. Then you've got Rins, Espargaro, Rabat, Zarco and Baptista as Crutcho, the pole sitter with no points. Serin, Espargaro, Redding, Nakagami. I think everyone had been in the points at some point in that race as Luti's in last. So in the Riders' Championship, Mario's still second but 39 points behind Dovizioso as Marcus up to third ahead of Vinales. Then we've got Rossi, Zarco, Petrucci up to 7th ahead of Rins. Lorenzo up ahead of Inoni and Crutcho drops outside the top 10. As we have 17 riders score points so far this season. Abraham still in last as Ducati getting a firm grip on the constructors, standing 54 points ahead of Yamaha with Honda in third. Then Suzuki, KTM Aprilia with a single point. In the Teams Championship, it's Pramac 26 points ahead of Ducati, who are now ahead of Yamaha by 12 points. Then Honda, Suzuki is just the same order. KTM with good points though, as they separate themselves around Go Nieto in 8th. And for Mario, he achieved everything. He should be the team leader, but will he be after that race, as there are definitely going to be some developments for Silverstone. As in Moto2, Alex Marquez wins again ahead of Livio and Baldassarri, Martin ahead of Bezzecchi and Bassini in Moto3, and Red Bull's Rookie Cup, it never changes. So for bike development, we actually got quite a lot. We could develop quite a couple of components. Maybe the engine, that would actually have been useful around Austria actually. Maybe the brakes, obviously they don't work on the bloody thing, do they? Or is it just a nut behind the fairings that is doing that? As we also got the suspension, the frame to develop. The frame's actually really developed. Or aerodynamics. It's an interesting decision because Silverstone's very much a speed track, but then you've got these tight corners such as Club and Vale, such as the new complex with Village, with the loop, and then Luffield of course at the end of the lap. So it's interesting to see what we could choose. Maybe it would be the engine actually. The engine's almighty powerful already, but it's the least developed component. So let's definitely increase the power. Increase the traction. This thing's going to be even more uncontrollable when getting on the power now. As Mario returns to the podium, is 7th of the season out of 11 races. But next time in Silverstone, could be a turning point of the season as he's dropping back from Dovi. He needs to gain points on his title rival and he needs to keep it clean. Can he do either of them next time? So for watching, we'll find out then.